Fox 40 News at 6 starts now.
Tweets from President Trump seem to suggest allowing more logging in our state's forest will reduce wildfire risk. While that industry agrees, environmental groups say it will actually have the opposite effect. Thanks for watching tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm Nikki Lorenzo.
And I'm Eric Rucker. As of tonight, it's 619,000 acres. That's more than twice the land area of the city of Los Angeles. Fox 40's Doug Johnson is live in our newsroom tonight with more on this issue and what was announced today to combat the wildfire threat in our state. Hi, Doug.
Well, Eric and Nikki, CAL FIRE says it has been conducting thinning projects for years, but funding and manpower is often limited, and not everyone agrees thinning out our forests will prevent wildfires. Some say, in fact, it could make the problem worse.
You hear about it from California Governor Jerry Brown.
We got to re-examine the way we manage our forests.
And from victims of the car fire who've lost everything.
Now that it's all burned down, they move forward with some sort of forest management.
But CAL FIRE says it's been doing forest management all along.
Forest management really is our core mission. It's mechanized equipment, what we call masticators that physically go out and do it. We do our hand crews go out and do what we call shaded fuel breaks around communities, tree removal, and that happens year round. It's not just putting fire on the ground.
If you have a thinned forest, the fire will go through without destroying the forest.
Rich Gordon is the president of the California Forestry Association, which represents the state's timber companies. He says this year's fire season has brought a heightened interest in the logging industry from lawmakers.
My phone's been ringing off the hook from members of the legislature saying, what more can we do to prevent these fires, to make Californians safe?
Gordon says decades of fire suppression have left our forests overgrown, fueling wildfires which have grown bigger every year.
When John Muir arrived in California, we had about 40 trees to an acre. Today, there are hundreds of trees to an acre.
The whole conversation about logging out in the forest is just a red herring.
But Dr. Chad Hansen, a research ecologist for the John Muir Project and a National Board of Directors member for the Sierra Club, says logging is not the answer.
Because what logging does is it removes a lot of the fire-resistant trees and leaves behind combustible slash debris.
Dr. Hansen says most of the recent homes burned are actually lost in grasslands or oak woodlands and not near forests. He says instead of pouring money into logging operations deep in those forests, the state should instead invest in defending communities.
What the science is telling us is the way to save homes and lives is to focus those resources at the homes themselves. We can make homes fire safe. If it's done properly, over 95% of homes will survive a wildland fire, even a fast-moving, intense fire.
And the state is certainly spending money on this issue. Today, CAL FIRE announced that more than $170 million has been awarded in grants to prevent wildfires and to restore forest health. And that money will be going out to more than 100 agencies and organizations across the state. In our newsroom tonight, Doug Johnson, Fox 40 News.
All right, Doug, thank you. Let's stay on this topic, but with a different angle. About 200 active duty Army engineers plus command and support staff are being sent to fight the California wildfires. The Pentagon says the troops will receive about 3 days of training before the firefight starts. Army officials say the engineers should be in California by early next week. They'll be organized into 10 teams of 20 soldiers each. The engineers will be accompanied by experienced wildland fire strike team leaders. The active duty soldiers will join National Guard troops who have been fighting the fires for weeks.
Meantime, fire crews slowly continue to gain containment on the 17 large wildfires burning up and down our state. To the north in Redding, the Carr Fire is now 47% surrounded, the now largest wildfire in California history. The Mendocino Complex Fire now 34% contained. The Ferguson Fire burning near Yosemite is now 38% contained. And in Southern California, the Holy Fire, which broke out in Trabuco Canyon roughly 24 hours ago, is now 2% contained. All right, let's get a first check of the forecast.